Hello, I am Lucas Paquetá.
Massive!
I'm very happy to be here. Come on, you guys.
Massive! You're massive! You're massive!
Hello everyone, welcome to the Boleyn Lounge. I'm Jeff and another Tuesday talk show. As you can see, I'm on my own for now. Budgie should be in, but I know he's having some internet problems, so hopefully they don't continue. But welcome everyone, all the viewers, and especially those of you in the live chat. Good to see some of the regulars in, and I'll get to your comments in a moment. But we'll just touch on the game. As I say that, Budgie's just come into the green room here, so let me get him into the studio. Oh, very good. Got problems with my computer here. Hold on a second. There we are. Let's get you in here, Budge. Sorry about that, people. As you can see, I'm very technologically aware. Budgie, thanks for joining me, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, yeah. We're not as cheerful as the last time we all met in the lounge after a good win against Nottingham Forest, and we've been brought down to us with a real thump, haven't we? And
well, yeah, we did, but was it anything less than expected? To be fair,
I'm not sure that it was personally.
Sorry.
I thought we had great similarities between this and the Chelsea game in some ways. For 20-25 minutes, I thought we were pretty good. Then Spurs got into the game, much like Chelsea did. They didn't make the most of their pressure. They forced a lot of corners. Scored from one that was disallowed, which I think actually we were probably a little bit fortunate to get away with one there. So probably should have been a goal down at half time, but got away with it. 0-0, okay, wipe our mouths, go again, second half. And then the collapse just began. And once we concede one, we're conceding two or three every time, aren't we?
It seems to be that kind of pattern that we're running up against. Yeah, definitely. I mean, what's troubling me is that we don't seem to be learning any lessons from the previous games. You know?
Well, the first goal's so soft, isn't it? It's just really, really poor. And then Souček gets sent off. And I think it's absolutely amateurish, if I'm honest. They're literally watching Souček walk down the tunnel while Tottenham getting on with the game. And then it's 2-0.
Yeah.
And then there's no way back from
I can still hear you, and you'll still be out of me. I've just got to go and grab it. Right.
No problem. Well, I'll just say hello to some of the guys in the chat. So, Usual's in. Good evening, Usual. He says good evening to all the wonderful people. And
evening, Usual.
He says good evening to Jeff and the panel, if I can get his comment up. There we go. God, I'm having problems with my mouse tonight.
Yeah, me too. My dog sent mine flying across the room earlier.
That wouldn't help.
Thank you, bullet head. Yeah, and hang on, I'm just trying to readjust my camera position. Without
this is going really well. We're looking more professional than ever tonight, Budgie.
I know, mate. I know. Yeah, it's just the camera was just slightly too close to me. Oh, look, he's gone. Well, that just leaves me then. Oh, dear. Right, let me see if I can get this bloody thing to stay still. Oh my goodness me. Right, bear with me, ladles and jelly spoons. How's that? That's more like it. Okay. Right, well, I'm going to have to have a look, see if I can find the chat. Here we are. Anyone in the comments section? Right, yes. So Brendan's saying, as it says on the screen, good evening. Oh, you're back?
I kicked myself off.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? There we go. Look, I managed to sort my life out, and now you're back. That's good.
Can
That's
you
good.
display? Oh,
I
for
ain't got my
God's sake!
glasses.
Can you display the comments, Budgie?
No, I can't because I'm a guest.
Oh
I
God,
can only read them.
I'm gonna have to make you a manager somehow for the next show. I'm
Okay,
having
mate.
real problems with my pointer tonight. Anyway, talking about the game, I'll try and sort this out.
Yeah.
First goal, awful. Switched off second goal. Third goal, walked it in. It's a complete trend. And we get on to the manager. We'll talk about the team, if you like, the lack of leadership, the grit, the backbone. None of it's
Yeah.
getting shown for me. But we'll get to the manager. Lots of speculation about him.
Too
He
much
doesn't look like
speculation,
he's
if
got
you
it
ask me.
for me.
Gonna grab my glasses and still hear you.
Yeah, no
Go on,
problem. He
keep going, mate.
doesn't look like he's got it for me. And I'm not one to jump on managers too soon, to try and scream them for them to be outed. And I'll be honest with you, I worry who we get and who is appointed by Sullivan if Potter goes. But I'm just almost convinced beyond doubt now that whoever it is has got to do a better job than Potter, because it doesn't look like he's got it in him. He looks
Yeah.
bereft of ideas.
I would have to say that I think even some of the League One managers out there will be able to do a better job than Potter at the moment. I hate saying stuff like that because it really comes back and bites me in the arse at times. But I just look, you know, Jeff, from the moment he was appointed, I've said he's not Premier League quality. And I think my point has been proven in this year that he's been with us, almost a year. So, you know, I think that my point is being proven daily. He's not Premier League quality. And we need a manager that is, or a coach that is. Excuse me. I don't know who that would be. I really don't. I mean, of course, there's names that I'd love to throw into the hat, but to be fair, you know, all of my choices would never even get a look in with David Sullivan at home because
the
they would
thing
all cost
is,
him money.
we have to be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
If we say there's going to be a change at the helm and in the dugout, and who's it really going to be? And like you say, you might have a few ideas of who you'd like it to be, but
Yeah.
the reality of one of them coming to the club is probably very slim. I mean, just for example, give us a couple of ideas of who you're talking about, and then we can sort of smile and dismiss them immediately or discuss
Right.
them
Well,
further.
the first one is dismissed out of hands like straight away because of the money that it would cost and the fact that of where he is right now is Carlo Ancelotti. That man would absolutely nail this job without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, okay. Well,
But
we could dismiss that
dismissed
straight
out of
away.
hand before it's even said. Okay. But realistically looking, I think, you know, Scott Parker would be worth a look.
No,
I
no,
think
no.
that
I don't
really,
know where that. What? Why? Why? Why Scott
I
Parker?
I just think he plays expansive football, Jeff, and I think that's what the fans want.
What's his record in the Premier League?
Oh, probably very, oh, nearly sure then. Probably very poor. Um, I have no idea, to be
And
fair. But
when
I
the
mean,
pressure
the
comes
thing is,
on,
I
he can't
wouldn't want
cope.
him
He
there on his
crumbles.
own. Yeah, I wouldn't want him there on his own. I would want him there with Mark Noble next to him.
We'll see this
That's
year
how
with
I go.
Burnley, right? You know, whether he's matured a bit as a manager, whether he's learnt enough to now kind of cut
Yeah.
it in the Premier League. And if he does, good luck to him. I don't say anything that I say in a negative way about Scott Parker um, in, with any malice or anything. It's just, I
No,
look
I
at his
understand that.
record
So,
in the Premier League. I think he's not very good. He may disprove me this year. Good luck to him. I think he's one of those that is a very good championship manager, good at getting sides promoted. Um,
yeah,
not sure if he's the guy to have in a relegation battle. But that's just my opinion, and other
yeah,
people might disagree with me, and you're free to do
it's a
so.
good shout. Yeah,
I mean, if we're talking about fantasy managers, as you know, I just want to take a time out just to say to Words, thanks for messaging me the other day. I did get in contact with Lee, and we had a chat. So terrific.
right,
Thank you very much. The guys are
cool.
just saying hello to each other. So yeah, my perfect manager for West Ham would be, as you know, a big fan of his is Eddie Howe, but
Mm.
he's not coming here, right?
No, of course, because the realistic view on that is probably about 45 to 1. You know,
Yeah.
like 45% chance, I mean, of
Well,
him coming to West Ham.
that's my Ancelotti sort of put out there
Pick.
that you put
Yeah,
out, if you
yeah,
like.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm trying to keep up with these comments, but my pointer is just all over the place. Right, let's see what Togs is saying here. What's he says? Should we be worried that Earthy, Potts, and Marshall start as usual, or is it just to give them game time? Okay, we're talking about the under 21s because I see he said that is Hermanson playing for them this evening as well?
Right, okay.
And usual saying half time 3 up. Fearon scored 2. West Ham have had 66% possession, and the third was an own goal. So it sounds like they're putting in a good performance this evening, at least. Something to be
As
cheerful
per
about
usual, the
based
boys
around
usually do.
West Ham.
Mm. Yeah, and it's good to know. It is good to know. I see that Arsenal managed to win in the last dying 10 minutes of the game.
They did, yeah. So anyway, getting back to managers, if we're talking about realism, we're talking about possibly the recently sacked Nuno, who might be a popular
Yeah,
choice among some and
I
maybe the board.
I'm not dead set against him. Let's put
And
it that way.
my other prediction is Sean Dyche. So, and I think they will
Which I
populate.
am dead set against because I mean, oh, you know, for me, it's like his name should be added to the end of the list of firefighters in the Trumpton series. You know,
Yeah, he's definitely a firefighter manager. And the trouble is,
it's not what
would
we need
Dyche
right now.
come
What we
in
need,
and do well? I think if is he what we need right now? Maybe he'd come in and galvanise that back four and be just what we need right now and keep
well,
us up.
that's
But
possible. But the
that
thing
the
is,
problem with
would
that
we be
is he
satisfied with that?
well the problem I'm about to expand on is that's fine for this season, right? Would we take that instead of getting relegated under Potter, which I think is what's going to happen if he continues the way he's going? Then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but do we want Sean Dyche to get a 3-year deal on the back of that? And no, not for me. And that's
Yeah,
what's going to happen,
yeah.
isn't it?
That's the big
So
picture, of course. Of course it
so
is. That's the big picture. But The thing is, what worries me is that we get Daesh in, right? We agree that there's no, 3-year deal or 2-year deal or whatever afterwards. You're here to save us from relegation. We are looking to put in a new manager, and that new manager has to be someone that is. Tony's in the
I know. I was just
background.
about to wait for an opportune
Oh,
moment to bring him in,
yeah.
but now seems like a good
All right.
time. So let me bring
Yeah,
him in. Good
it does
evening,
seem like a good time.
Sorry.
Tony.
Good
Thank you
evening,
for
Tony.
joining us, buddy.
Evening, boys.
He caught a bit of that
You
conversation.
ain't anywhere near the south coast, are you, Tony, with a spare mouse in your pocket?
I
Jeff's
remember
having one
over
or
there,
two
mate.
little rodent issues
Oh, is it?
what's
with
your
his
thought?
actual pointer mouth, that is, Good evening, mate. Yeah, no,
Evening.
what I was going to say was that do we really want a firefighter manager in, or do we want someone that's going to actually come into the club, is going to transform it into a club with a winning mentality? Whether we get winning results or not is a different matter.
Okay,
But what
but
we
Budgie,
need
I
is a
think you're
winning
going down the
mentality.
fantasy rabbit hole now of what we
Not
want.
particularly.
And
Not particularly.
well, do you think this
Because
is what
I think that
Sullivan is going
Nuno
to
would
do?
give us that. I think
Do
Nuno
you?
would give us that mentality. Yeah, I do.
What mentality?
I do. Go out and win.
Yeah, okay,
At the
but
moment, we're lacking that.
okay, I think he would galvanise in the same way that I said that Sean Dyche would galvanise us. But do you want the football that Nuno produces at the football club? Is that what you're passionate for? To go back to essentially Moyes ball, which everyone was very, very fed up with at the end. Because I think
Yeah.
personally, that's what
Okay,
Nuno's
but
going to produce.
it did win us a European trophy.
Okay, I'm not arguing. I'm saying
Mm.
what everyone was bucking against the Moyes ball model of football that everyone was fed
Yeah.
up with. You're now saying after the failed Lopetegui experiment, the failed Potter situation, that the answer is to go back to a manager that's going to produce much the same as what everyone was fed up with, and that's the forward way of the club. And if
Kind
you
of. What
are,
I'm
that's
saying is
okay. I'm not
better
knocking
the
it.
devil you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I'm kind of saying better the devil you know. As a club, West Ham, historically, recent history, we've been more successful as a counter-attacking football club, but as a counter-attacking team.
So
So,
basically, you're advocating that we will
yes,
a Daesh or a Nuno appointment. Then, really?
not necessarily Daesh, because I don't think Daesh has got enough forward thinking about his game plans. I think it's survive the game, get what you can. Whereas with Nuno, I think it's defend first and break. And that worked for us in Europe for 3 years. It worked. It worked in the Premier League for four or 5 years nearly. It worked. Defend first and attack when you can.
Okay,
It
that's
worked.
great. I'm going to ask Tony now after all of that, to give
Yeah.
what your opinion is on all of that, Tony. Do you think? I think the reality is that is the direction that we will probably end up travelling in, right? But are you an advocate of that, or would you like to see something different yourself?
I think Budgie's right in certain respects. We look with Moyes, it was counter-attacking football that we kind of seem to, do well with. Apart from that last season, which we know, I think, like I said, for me, he's already gone from that stage. It got us through to the Europa Conference. Okay, we wasn't great in the league. With Lopetegui in there, I mean, at the end of the day, no idea. I think none of us really had an idea what this man, had under his hat, his belt, whatever you want to say, because it just seemed to be I don't know, strange, whatever way you're looking at it. When you look at Potter, I've already said this many a times. It's amazing that it gets one game kind of right and then goes backwards. And I mean, you're saying about Moyes ball, but the thing is, when you look at it, what we had there in certain respects was a stability. Regardless of how the style was, sometimes we did have a stability there.
When I refer to Moyes
Surprising.
ball, though, Tony, what I will say is I'm not necessarily saying it in like a negative or this. I'm saying I'm using it in a descriptive way, right? So it's something that we all can all associate with. Essentially, low to mid block, counter-attacking style. And we call it Moyes ball, right? And essentially, that's what Nuno's going to bring. Is my point. And I think a lot of the fan base were really fed up with and wanted to get away from that. So
I agree.
Budge's perspective is that he thinks that that's sort of the safe route, I guess, for the club. And you tend to agree with that sentiment, Tony. I guess from what you're saying.
I mean, it's a case of what we want to see more than anything else at the moment is getting back on the stable ground. I mean, we lost our way with Lopetegui. Potter, we thought at one point was good because, not being funny, that first game he had in that cup game with Villa, in certain respects, I think we was a little bit hoodwinked in there because we were so used to what was happening with Lopetegui. Anyone coming in, I think at that point, to change things would have looked good on paper. It's only afterwards that, we started seeing the cracks appear. With Nuno, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's a different team. He's going to cut. If it was him, for instance, if he came in, I think the difference with Nuno is he can get things out of players, and I think with Potter, we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that at all. You've seen that with, and I mean, blimey, look at that. I mean, Chris Woods at the end of the day, how he changed that man around for what he was doing, and these are the kind of things we need to see, really.
Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, exactly. Players like that, Budge. Yeah,
he's become a player now.
And that's the thing. It's one of those. So I think if it was Nuno, we are gonna, we can see that. But I don't know if you've already mentioned it. I've seen something today, yesterday and today, which read its head, and apparently Ian McKenna was at the ground, the Ipswich manager. He was invited in by the directors, and he was in the boardroom.
He was apparently in the directors' room after the game. According to the sources that I've seen.
Yeah. What do you read into that one? I mean, at the end of the day, and that, he's when he came up with Ipswich, he had about 3-4 clubs wanted to grab hold of him. Yeah. What he'd done with Ipswich.
I've seen the story. I don't know what to make of it because this is my thing, right? We get back to Sullivan. He sacked Lopetegui, cost him what, £5 to £7 million?
I think it's a bit more than that, I believe, Jeff.
Yeah. So getting up, say, £10 million, not far away. He's brought in Potter. If he sacks him, it's going to cost him another £10 million?
Possibly.
If he has to get McKenna out of Ipswich, it's going to cost him £7 million at least.
I think it's a little bit more than that. I think they want a bit more for him. I think we might be looking at possibly 15, maybe even up to the 20 million mark, possibly.
Right. He won't spend that on a fucking player in the summer. We've got to sell before we buy, and he's going to throw away all that money sacking the managers and then buy a manager. I just, with all the will in the world, I just don't see it.
Unless he approaches Brighton and says, "Do you want to do a swap?"
So, for me, it can only be an available manager if he sacks Potter, and probably only a manager that fits the Sullivan criteria of Premier League experience, etc., etc., etc. So
So that narrows it down to 2 then at this moment.
Right, so there's
3.
available managers out there for free, and then there's less available managers out there for free that fit that criteria. But there are a number of managers out there that fit that criteria right now, yeah?
Can you see them approaching Mourinho?
Well, I saw something said today that he's been ruled out.
Yeah.
But personally, I never really saw Mourinho at West Ham with our board. And if it'd been interesting to see what chaos meets chaos turned out like.
Alien versus Predator, probably.
Yeah, because I think with Mourinho, you know, he likes to have a bit of money behind him. We know we ain't going to get that with Sullivan, so
it's not just the money. He likes to have total control, and he's not going to get that either.
Well, of course, and it's a clash of personalities as well, Budgie. That's the other thing, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, in that, who's bigger, Sullivan or Mourinho?
Well, yeah, it is. It's like throwing a leopard in with a tiger, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. The thought of Mourinho coming to West Ham is actually laughable, in my opinion. It's a story that should never have been given any bloody oxygen. Do you know what I mean? It really shouldn't have done. Because it's not ever going to happen. The only way that's going to ever happen is if somebody like, the Russian fella that was at Chelsea. I don't even remember. Yeah, that's the fella. Somebody like that with billions and billions and billions behind them comes into the club, buys the club, brings in Mourinho and says, right, here's your checkbook, here's my signature, do what you got to do, right? Then Mourinho would come to West Ham, but that ain't never going to happen either. No. So, Mourinho's completely off the table, in my opinion.
And if you've got the scenario you just painted, Budgie, you don't want Mourinho anyway. You want someone better than him.
Well, yeah, you want somebody like Ancelotti. Or Scolari. I know, he's probably not managing anymore, is he? Bless him. But, you want that top guy if you've got that kind of money behind you, your Pep Guardiolas of the world, etc.
Yeah, I mean, if we're realistic in that, it's going to be the case of it's either going to be, Deitch. Well, I mean, see Deitch being thrown in. That's what I just mentioned. I mean, I can't see that one coming. I mean, that just wouldn't suit us whatsoever. So
we need Nuno for me.
I mean, Nuno. As I say, I can understand when. Nuno wasn't back to Spurs. Apparently, he's still Spurs. He still is highly regarded at Wolves, and of course, with Forest, he got back there. Not the first season, but he got backed. But he said what he did with the team, and I think it's just a fresh pair of eyes, an experienced manager as well to say is that. But also, you got to think of, mentioning McKenna. It's the case of young. Fresh ideas. Because look what he did with Ipswich to get them up where they are now. Okay, they got relegated, but he got them up to that point, and that's no kind of mean achievement. You've really got a bit of acumen.
There is another name that's been bandied about also, though, guys, and I've actually said that if he actually did become West Ham's manager, I'd stop doing YouTube until the board have gone. And that is Gareth Southgate. He's the other name that's been strongly linked with us, and I'm fearful of that. I have to be honest, I am fearful of that. If we go with Gareth Southgate, that would just be the death of this club, in my opinion.
You do know how many players we were strongly linked with in the recent transfer window, don't you, Budgie?
About
79,000 realism into these links. So I just wanted to come back. We've kind of wandered off here, there, and everywhere, like we do. It's not a problem. But I did want to address this problem. This question from Tox. He says, we had hoped he'd be the one giving youth a chance. Another gaslight moment, it seems. And I have to say, I don't think it was highlighted more than this weekend when AWB goes sick, doesn't he?
Apparently.
75 minutes, whatever, before kickoff. And we end up with 2 keepers on the bench instead of giving a youngster a place on the bench. And we had 2 strikers that neither of them are 100% fit for 90 minutes. And Callum Marshall plays international football in the break, but can't get onto our bench. A goalkeeper gets in front of him. Ollie Scholes can't get near the bench now. I think that, honestly, this is part of the reason why I just can't see Potter succeeding at West Ham. He's not doing anything right from a fan's perspective.
Yeah.
Potts can't get near the pitch. He played in more pre-season. He looked good through pre-season. He's had a few little minutes here and
And from what I hear, blocked a loan move for him.
Right. Yeah. Well, blocked a loan move from Marshall, didn't he? He said he wanted to stay at the club. I think, or one of them said he wanted to stay for. Anyway, that aside, they're not getting any chances. I could see Scholes not getting a chance right now because I think Jeff's been absolutely brilliant since he's come in. So you wouldn't really make an argument for Scholes to get in front of him.
No.
But Potts, where's his minutes? Where's his chance gone? Marshall, when we've got no fucking strikers available, fit to start.
Yeah, he played for Ketter in false 9.
Right, and he can't even get onto the bench.
See, now, this is where a lot of people would maybe disagree with me a little, but this is where I think managers like Bilic or managers like Gianfranco Zola, I know he was only with us a short time, but managers like that are a little bit ready to take a risk, Harry Redknapp even, right? They would have been playing these guys, these young boys.
Yeah.
And I don't credit Harry Redknapp and Bilic and that with it solely because it's not just the decision that they make. Obviously, it goes higher up as well. But, like when they're ready, they should be getting minutes or they should be getting bench time. They should be. They should be getting it. Even if they have played 3 nights ago in a under-21s game. They should be getting bench time.
Look at this team. We've got JWP, who seems to offer less and less week on week, especially with the introduction of people like Magassa and Fernandez now in and around that first team. What does he bring? He's bringing less and less, right? Souček's now suspended.
Potter seems to really like him.
Yeah, so how is he ever getting into that 11 or onto that pitch?
This is the thing. It is true, though. I mean, it's like he can walk with that man, and he still gets away with it. I mean, going back to what you're saying with the youth thing. I mean, when you look at the fact that he started playing Scholes first of all, and it's okay, great. We're starting to see a youth, academy player being brought through. Great signs to see, kind of thing. And then don't know what happened, but next minute, as you said, he was condemned to the catacombs. We never seen
similar blueprint to that of Moyes.
Well, yeah, Moyes. Well,
which makes me think
Moyes actually played him.
It's higher up the ladder.
No,
the head coach.
I think it's a manager. It is down to the coach and the manager. I'll say, but if you've got a chairman interfering in you picking your team in that's when you know you've got to go. Because as soon as they start doing that, then what's the point of you being there? Because they look to what they want to overall even more. I mean, not being funny and no disrespect to them, we've seen that with Marinakis at Forest. Because that man literally wants to write the theme tune, sing the theme tune, be part of it, be this, and it's a case of you hire a man to look, to run the team for a reason. Brings in a coaching team to make sure we get the best out of our squad.
Of course.
I mean, I made the mistake. I did say the other day that we haven't got a set piece coach, but I've just found out today we've got someone called Marcis Palach.
Yeah.
And apparently he is supposed to be known for possessive football. Well, maybe he's doing it on FIFA 24 or something like that, because he ain't doing it with his team, that's for sure.
But I also learned today that we've got 2 goalkeeper coaches.
Well, that was hot news in the summer, wasn't it? The signings, but we had signed no players, but we were signing coaches.
Yeah.
Leslie says, good evening.
We got 2 goalkeeper coaches. That's probably why we got 2 keepers on the bench.
Jesus.
That's another Moyes trait.
I think Leslie, exactly, another Moyes trait. Leslie sums Potter up really at the moment. He says, Potter just stands on the touchline, bereft of ideas. Confidence, looks shot, no idea what to do. It's absolutely true. I mean, I'm sure everyone in the chat and on the panel here has seen Gio's video where he mimics Potter's puff of the cheeks. I mean, he's got it down, Pat. It's absolutely brilliant. But that's what he does. He absolutely looks lost. But he looks a complete rabbit in the headlights.
Yeah. Well,
and we wonder why there's no grit and determination in our team. And you look at him fucking wilting on the touchline, and you wonder why.
Yeah, and every Chelsea fan I've spoken to or that I've heard speak, and Tony, you're witness to quite a lot of the comments that I'm going to paraphrase about. It's basically, he's a fraud. He doesn't deserve the job. He's not Harry Potter. He's Harry Potter and things like, honestly, some of the stuff that has come up on your channel, Tony, on other channels that I've watched, even on one of the White Side of North London's channels, I've even had a peek on there. And even when they speak about him, they say he's a fraud, And as I said right at the top of the show, Jeff, I always said he's not Premier League quality. And unfortunately, it's proven to be that, and a little bit like Big Ange, all of the hype, all what he did elsewhere, he gets to the Premier League and it just doesn't work for him.
Ruben Amorim? Anyone? He might be
Ruben
available in a couple of weeks. Should we appoint him? He was a big fan favourite. Lots of people were trumpeting for him.
Never one of mine. Never one of mine, mate.
So he hasn't succeeded so well. Do you think he would make a difference at West Ham, or do you think he just
I don't think he will. I think the league. I think the league is far too big a jug for him to drink from. Really is. I don't think this league is suitable for every single manager out there. I've a couple of times I've called for, the club to just take a gamble, go and get Will Steele, right? I've said it a few times. In truth, he would get swallowed up. We would get relegated. We'd probably end up in League One, right? If he was at the helm. Joking aside now, he's not fit for this league at this time. Whereas somebody like, and I mentioned Scott Parker earlier, he's got Premier League experience. Nuno, he's got Premier League experience. Okay, we know Mourinho's not coming, but he has got Premier League experience. And these are guys that have, had some relative success in some degree. Not so much Scotty Parker, I know, but But you know, if Scott Parker had the right people with him, I think this club could thrive because he knows what this club's about.
Yeah, I think you're just being a bit doughy-eyed about Scott Parker.
Maybe.
I've
Maybe.
sort of gave you my verdict on
I might
Parker
concede
earlier.
that one. But I still think that with the right people with him, the right coaches, and the right person in the dugout next to him, you know, I say bring back Trevor Brooking, but apparently he don't want the job.
He don't want the job.
I mean, look at it, Jeff. You had, Potter's had a 2-year layoff when you think about it when he left Chelsea. Enough time to recharge the batteries, enough time to refocus on things and, come back in. Maybe it's 2 years too much. It could be that. And we're not seeing that. I mean, James from E20 had a great shout. And thinking about it afterwards when he said it, because first of all, I thought, nah. But thinking about it, and he said Craig Bellamy.
Craig Bellamy won't leave Wales to come to West Ham, will he?
Not at the
I
moment,
see
anyway.
you're right
Until
there,
the wheels
Jeff.
start falling off, Jeff,
But
then
he
maybe.
would be a
Wales.
good shout if you're going to take a punt. Craig Bellamy would be a great shout if he was willing, and if you were willing to take a punt, because he is a little bit of a punt. He's working with
think
Wales.
he is
He's
a punt.
doing.
I tell you what, I wouldn't be against it. I think
Me either.
He loves West
be.
Ham, and
Yeah,
he's doing
he
a good
said
job
that we
at
had
Wales.
the greatest fans of all the fans he's played for.
And I'd be up for it, right? But back in the realms of reality, right now, he ain't leaving Wales to come to West Ham.
He's loving it at Wales, isn't he? Like you said, Jeff, he is loving it there at the moment. You can't blame him.
What about Michael Carrick, though, lads?
Well, jury's out for
Again, his name has been put into the frame.
Jury's out for me.
Well, let me throw a spanner in the works to use too, and the panel, because I saw this, last week, fun enough, and I thought myself, it can't be right. Frank Lampard Jr.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
His name's been mentioned as well.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
I think that's another one of those been strongly linked to nice story in the media, not going to happen things that a bit like whoever we were talking about earlier, how many names ago we were talking about, because it's nonsense. They're not buying him out of Coventry. Coventry are doing quite well. They're not going to let him go. He and I'm not sure how proven he is in the Premier League. I saw someone in a chat on another channel. I might have been on Talkshow last night, and someone was putting Lampard stats in, saying, "Oh, his Premier League record for this or this, that, and the other." And his first spell at Chelsea was he did really, really well. But if you look at in individuality, his spell at Everton, he had a 27% win rate, and his last spell at Chelsea had a 9% win rate. He did well at Derby, but
Championship.
Yeah. I mean,
and he's going well with Coventry.
And also to add a little bit of weight to my my immediate no thank you, not near my club reaction, is that, as you know, I have got a couple of ex-players on my contact list, and one of them I talk to quite regularly. And he's a local boy. He's not from overseas. I won't tell you who he is. And he spoke to me. He knows Frank Jr. reasonably well. They were at the club at the same time-ish when the player I'm talking about was very young. And he said that he heard a rumour among other people that know him very well was that the only time he ever wants to come to West Ham is to literally do damage to them. Like in a footballing sense, I want to bring a team there to beat them, is what he said. Which tells me that he wouldn't want to manage this club. And that, you know, that's almost like Paul Ince being linked with us to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
You might as well link Paul Ince.
Boleyn. Fucking hell. Where does it stop? Jesus.
Oh, Dimitri Payet was interested in the job the other day, apparently. No, I'm joking, but, you know, why don't we just get, you know, an absolute Judas in? You know, it's ridiculous,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, you usually just put in there Stanley Matthews. We're bringing back out again. It'd be all right.
I think Ian's. I mean, he sums up where I'm at anyway. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's a dose of realism. But you may disagree. But he says, problem is, guys, the board just won't go out and get anyone capable. They won't pay the money.
Yeah.
I don't think Silva is particularly happy at Fulham. I think he's gettable, but it just won't happen. And that's the truth of the matter. And I go back to the thing when we spoke about McKenna. Whatever he was there for, yeah, it wasn't for them to negotiate the compensation that they're going to pay to Ipswich for him to come to West Ham. And there's another one that would have been, you know, pretty popular choice for some people at West Ham. Silva. They like the idea of Marco Silva. As he says, Ian says that he's probably quite gettable if they're prepared to put the money behind it. But I agree that they won't. So, which is why we're having the Nuno Dyche conversation, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Silva one there, yeah, because he didn't have a great. They didn't exactly back him up in the transfer window. He was quite frustrated. So there was a sign that he possibly was going to walk on, but he obviously stayed there for the time being. But how long for is another thing. I mean, for me, I mean, unfortunately, the manager I would love to have had is Thomas Frank. We obviously missed out on that opportunity.
Yeah.
But go to bloody hell. Go to, you know, the other choice. Colin's already mentioned it as well. I've said this many a time. Iriolo at Bournemouth. You know, someone who's transferred that club.
He is actually a really good, forward-thinking, progressive manager. Oh, my dear.
Do you know what? Do you not think when you were talking about someone like Iraola, it's too late? So
yeah,
he's done what he's done at Bournemouth, and his next move, like if we'd have gone for him when Moyes left.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
We'll pay the compensation and we'll get him out of there and we'll bring him to West Ham and did it instead of Lopetegui, we'd probably get him, right? But you know, we're like another year behind now and he's doing what he's doing at Bournemouth and he's probably not going to leave them. Yeah, right. But he's doing what he's doing at Bournemouth and he's probably not going to leave till the end of this season, if at all. And then when he does,
what the heck?
He's going to go somewhere other than West Ham. Someone else is going to be sniffing around him.
Wouldn't surprise me. He goes to Man U.
Let's say, Man U or Newcastle decide to get rid of Eddie Howe, don't quite meet the expectations, and then they bring in an Iraola or someone like that. So I think he would be a great shout for West Ham, but I think
you got a valid point there, mate. I think you have got a valid point. Yeah, I mean, he's progressed with Bournemouth that much that someone else will stiff around from him. And again, it's another opportunity missed by us. You know, we do it with managers, we've done it with players.
And Usual's not a fan of Dyche. Clearly, he says it would be a biggest mistake ever if he comes to West Ham. And let me make it clear, I am not blowing his trumpet saying I'd like to see him here. I just think it's a reality that he is one of the likely candidates that will end up here.
Man, I mean, for me, I mean, look, if that's the case, then let's just get bloody Nuno in for the time being. Then just steady the
I would
ship.
much
Steady the ship.
rather Nuno over
Over Dutch.
Dyche.
Yeah.
I'm not that inspired by any of the names on the list, especially, including Mourinho. If I'm honest, I know
Mhm.
some people like the idea of him, but I just think
He's past it in that
I think
respect, I'd
yeah,
say.
I do think he's past it, and I think it'd be just a bit of chaos as well.
Mm.
Maybe it would be good chaos, but it never seems to end up good chaos. He always seems to leave a trail of destruction behind him, doesn't he?
Yeah. That's the thing itself.
And I think we're damaged enough right now. We've got enough problems.
Without a doubt, mate. Without a doubt. I mean, look, if the McKenna's got some relevance. Good evening to everyone in the chat, by the way. If McKenna's got some relevance in that, then why not? I mean,
Oh yeah, that would be an interesting choice.
let's see what the balls they've actually got. That's the thing, Jeff, because you said about we bring in a Daesh or whoever. We're in a situation at the moment if we don't kind of start seeing in results and a couple of good results, back to back results, then we've got October coming up. We're going to creep into that. Doesn't look like we're going to get any points out of the next couple of games coming into November, and we do exactly the same thing there. How long do it take before we decide? Do we make the move now and get shot of him and bring someone in, or is the case of they're going to wait until December, which could be way too late at that point, and then before you know it, we can't get out of that hole.
Well, the thing is, Tony, we're talking. It's early in the season, right? And we're talking about is Potter going to get sacked? Speculating about who's likely to be appointed, and it shouldn't. It should just be a nonsense conversation, really. It shouldn't really be a realistic thing. But if I'm being honest, and I look at the way we're shipping goals and the way we're getting beaten right now, if we lose like pretty comprehensively by 2 or 3 goals, or God forbid worse, right, on Saturday, I don't think it's unrealistic that they might pull the trigger on it, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's definite that they will, but you could see that they could.
Yeah. I think when you look at it, with all what's going on, the fact they're in the media now, there's a lot of kind of eyes looking at them. They've got to be seen to be doing the same. And of course, not getting the results, it's just another piece in that jigsaw that builds it up, and it paints the worst picture so far that everyone can see, apart from this board at the moment. And it's, are you going to change anything? It's no use being stubborn, because we don't forget. We saw that with the Kearns, we saw that with Terence Brown. The Icelandics, there could have been a bit of hope if they didn't go skint overnight. And of course, these two come in first of all. Golden Sullivan, okay, clear the debt, blah blah blah. This and the other, give us all the promises.
Took their slice of the pie, though.
As always. But we got a little bit of stability in that, and I think maybe in certain respects, gold passing away, and that was probably the worst thing for us.
Yeah, I agree. I think even though it was GSB out and all that, I actually think it's got worse since Gold's gone. I do think Gold had some kind of leash on Sullivan, if you like.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I don't know much about it. It's just what I think. And if you see what you've seen, he does not care, does he? He doesn't care about the football club. He doesn't care about us. She just. It's not even worth talking about.
She was at the bloody Arsenal game, mate, on Saturday.
I tell you what, if there's any truth in the rumour of her sort of resigning, being ousted, or one thing or another, I'll fucking dance. I fucking hate her. I think she's dreadful. I think she's awful woman.
She's
I
obviously
think
she ain't
she's been
going.
dreadful. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see. You know, we'll probably move on and talk about the upcoming protests the weekend, probably lead into that. But just want to address Ian's comment. He says, "Dodge for fuck's sake! I'm so frustrated. We have to be aiming higher than that. This is just a perpetual cycle of hiring cheap, short-term answers. Have some ambition, pay for the right man, and leave him to get on."
Absolutely.
And it's completely correct, but it's not going to happen because when he's not going to pay for the right man, he's not going to pay for any man, never mind the right man, and he absolutely not is going to leave him to get on, is he?
The thing is, though, mate, you got to look at it like this. We was all kind of told, we have to sell before we can buy. We've got no money. And then suddenly he pulls all these pound notes out of his pocket near the end and buys a couple of players. So he can do it. He can do it if he wants to, and hopefully, if he's, if he looks at the bigger picture and realizes that whatever action he takes, he's looking after. He's supposed to be looking after the club. Shall I word it as that?
Yeah.
If he wants to look at the long term goal, he's got to realise that this bloke is not the man he's cracked up to be. He's not saving it. And let's be honest, we all know it wasn't Sullivan's man.
Yeah.
He signed this 2.5 year deal. So if that's the case, whatever's left on it, which I don't think is long, get shot. Cut your nose off to spite your face. Spend the money and get rid of the man, lay him off, and spend the money to get someone else in and that, because the long term rewards has got to be better than what we're going through at the moment.
Just usual says here, personally, as a West Ham fan, I will never, never, ever regret getting rid of Moyes. So I'll be interested. I know previously he said that Dyche would be a huge mistake, and I'm not up with the chat. I'm having trouble with my mouse, so keep an eye on it if he answers, please. But I'll be interested to know, if he hasn't said already, what would usual's thoughts be on, say, a Nuno that we discussed earlier, and if he's going to produce, if he does as predicted and produces something very similar to a Moyes ball thing, would you be happy with that usual, or are you looking for, as discussed, you were saying the Kieran McKenna, if that was the way to go, and a younger manager with certainly a different style of play, would you think that's the way we should be moving? I'd be interested to know. Everyone else in the chat as well, let me know what direction you would like to see us go, and then perhaps if you don't think that's a reality, it's just what you would like, also let me know what you think Sullivan is likely to do. And if you're watching this back or a later date, stick it in the comment section and let me know what you think about
that. My apologies for disappearing from the screen. My phone died. I've had to rush round. I had to rush round, go and grab my laptop, get my earbuds connected. I've literally only just got my earbuds connected. So I have heard everything.
This comment might have just answered my question anyway. Says, usually says, Moyes' style of football stunk the place out for such a long time. So I presume you would not be keen to see a return of that style of football. Words is saying
Yeah,
that
it's not for everybody.
a forward-thinking, attacking football. We won't get him unless Sullivan is out manoeuvred in the boardroom. And Sullivan likes a safe manager, doesn't he? That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's why when they first arrived at the club, they ousted Zola, because he wasn't safe. He wasn't safe. Okay, his record wasn't the best, but it weren't the worst. Look at what's happening right now. Look at what happened when Avram Grant turned up. I mean, listen, the averages were not in their favour compared to his. But, he didn't get a chance anyway. That's irrelevant. But what I'm saying is that as soon as they walked through the door, it was their way or the highway, you know. And yeah, Zola wasn't safe.
That makes
Wasn't a
me laugh,
safe
that
manager.
comment. Doug says, Jose would argue with Sully. Bloody hell, he argues with himself in a room on his own. I'm way behind on the chat, so I will try and
As far as I was
catch up.
aware, Tottenham were 1-0 up earlier. What's the score now?
I don't know.
Brian Clough in his prime. Look at that, yeah.
Usual says, Mr. Loudge, be warned, if Dyche is hired, we are turning this channel into a musical one.
Yeah, Spurs won up. Luis Jr. It's an own goal, actually, that's been scored for Spurs.
And Tog says, you can still do YouTube, Budgie. Cooking, music. I can't see.
Shark
Shark and
Rock
Croc
Watch.
Watch. Yeah. Make West Ham great
Well,
against him. Good evening. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Good evening.
And I
yeah,
guess
when I
it's
say I won't be doing YouTube, I mean is that
Ted,
I
good
will
evening.
step back from doing West Ham YouTube, is what I mean. I might still do something. You never know.
So
Might
we
even
should
do a
talk
live
about.
stream of me getting tattooed, you know.
Measure that one, bud.
So I guess we should talk about when we're talking about Brady and such. We should talk about the upcoming protest this weekend, and
Yeah.
I guess most of you have on screen at least, and in the chat, I expect have expressed your views. But what are your thoughts on the protest on Saturday? Let's start there, and what the plans are with that.
Okay, so remind me, we've got Palace on Saturday.
Palace, yep, Palace.
Right. So okay. So from what I'm understanding is it's a peaceful, peaceful, legal protest against the board, and that it's going to be a march or a gathering of some description. I believe that the police have been contacted and liaisoned with, so that it is peaceful and legal and loyal, and you know, whatever the word is. And so, from what I can gather, nobody wants to cause any real major issues outside of the club protest. Okay, so let's hope that the right people get to see and hear the protest and the grievance that they carry, or the grievances that they carry. I hope that it does 60% of what everybody thinks it will do. And if that way, it's done 100% more than I'm expecting it to. Because I've got to be honest with you, I don't think that we carry enough weight as a group. Like, I'm not talking about us as individuals, I'm talking about the West Ham fan groups. I think that Sullivan's too thick skinned to allow that to get to him, you know. And I don't mean to demean anything that any of the, like, that Hammers United and all that have done, because I admire it and I've supported it. I've signed the petition. I've done. The only thing I won't be able to do is go and be physically at the protest. Other than that, I fully support it all, but I just don't think it's going to carry enough weight.
Okay, so and what's your thoughts, Tony?
Well, I've just checked the weather for that day, and it's supposed to be 21 with chances of rain. So let's see if that puts anyone off. But these, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. The biggest problem is, though, it's what strength does it give? and you've got an owner that's stubborn as anything. You've got whatever she's supposed to be in the background, just as stubborn as what he is. Is it going to actually kind of really change anything in that respect? I mean, we'd love to see it change it, because we know we need to see that. We need the club to kind of or the board at least to realise that it's our club. We want the best for it, and this is the reason why we're doing this. It's just seeing, will they kind of actually take it on board? I mean, at the end of the day, in that she had that bloody meeting with the supporters thing, and then she's, they was expecting to see her resign and that, and the stubborn cow's gone, no, I'm still going to be here. So this is, I mean, the one good thing it's going to do more than anything else than that, and I take it as a positive rather than a negative, is it's going to put our club into the limelight, and all for the wrong reasons. And I see that as a positive rather than a negative.
Yeah.
And the other thing additionally, of course, is that this new board of investigators, or whatever you want to call them, this independent board, the independent committee that are going to look at ownership and stuff like that. IFF, is it, or something?
It's new name.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are putting too much weight on that, because I don't know quite how much authority they're actually going to have. Maybe just even exposing poor ownership might be enough. Let's hope so. But I just wanted to add that, because a lot of people are putting a lot of faith in that. Myself, I've even expressed that I hope it does what we all want it to do.
Yeah. I mean, not being funny, Budge, it's quite surprising when you listen to some of the pundits on Talksport and that, and they're actually behind us. They're actually, they're all for it in some respects.
Andy Goldstein being one of them.
Yeah, absolutely, and that in itself is great. But then when you look at other TV channels, this and the other, and they're also saying exactly the same thing. That's got to be damaging in itself when you got ex-pro players, because they know Upton Park, they know how we were. We're moving to this place.
Yeah, lo and behold, David Sullivan comes out and says, I'm not going to talk to the media anymore because nobody loves me anymore. You know what I mean? He's done this today, hasn't he, basically?
Yeah, he hasn't done, because he's been found out.
But nobody loves him anymore. Nobody supports him in the media anymore. I mean, come on.
So
of course we're not going to...
My thoughts on Saturday's protest are that it's actually quite important, this protest, I think, for a couple of reasons. We've actually got some focus on our cause at the moment. It's got into the media, it's been into the printed press, it's been on Talksport, the fan cam things that have been on Sky Sports have really spoken really well from the fan base point of view. I think really put the point across, and it's become a focus and a bit of a spotlight on this. And it's not easy, I don't think, to get exposure for some of these things and get traction behind some of these things. We've actually got some. So, and everyone in that media sphere, and the board included, are very aware about this protest and the spotlight on it. This is where I think it's important as a fan base that we turn out in big numbers to show our dissatisfaction and our disdain. We do it, as you said earlier, in the right manner, without causing trouble and putting the wrong kind of focus on us, of course. And what I will say is...
It's about time that people in the media realise that West Ham is a club that loves our football, we love our team, we love our club, right? And we are prepared to do something peacefully. I mean, far too long have we had to carry the baton from history, if you know where I'm coming from, And
Yeah, what I was going
you
to
know,
go on to say, Budgie, is I don't know all the details of the march and the demonstration on Saturday, but I do know that Paul from Hammers United did a video with Stell that he's put on his channel. I'm sure I haven't watched all of it. I've watched part of that, and I need to go back and watch the rest of it. But I'm sure all of the details of the march and the demonstration will be on that. So I would recommend
yeah,
everyone go and visit Stell's channel, tune in, watch that video, get the details. If you have match tickets for Saturday, and by the way, I'm not much one for all the people who are telling other people what to do, what they should and shouldn't do. But all I would say, I'd reiterate that I think it's important that we turn out in big numbers for this demonstration so that when the cameras and the journalists are going to write about it, they're not going to write about how soppy it was and there was one man and his dog there, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we can put a really good show on and send
yeah,
a real big message to the board. So
yeah,
that's my thoughts on it.
Mm.
yeah.
I'll be
I mean,
attending the
to be
game on
fair,
Saturday,
regardless
so
of whether I
I'll
was
be
able
going.
to go to the stadium or not, I would still like to be at that demonstration.
It's
Whether I was
competition
going
for
to the
anyone
game or
going,
not, I
isn't
would
it?
love to go. Unfortunately, things aren't equal in my world, as it were, and I'm not able to make it. But um, I strongly advise people that want to go, just go. Whether you're going to the game or not, go to the demonstration.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be going because I'm attending the game, so I'll make sure that I go there
Yeah,
to be
and of course,
have
we've got to
my
think
vote
about the
counted,
travel
as it
distance.
were. But
Yeah, of course.
even if you're not attending the game, if you're in the area or you're prepared to travel to the area and go to the demonstration, behave in the right manner, and have your vote counted, then do that. We need a
Mm.
show of force and show that we're all together. Because if Sullivan's sitting in his fucking ivory tower, just thinking that we'll all be disjointed and become a rabble, and mainstream media will take the piss out of us because look, there's hardly any of them. 500 people turn up. We're going to look foolish, and we'll lose all the traction that
Absolutely.
we got.
Absolutely.
And I think it's too important. And I feel like because we've got this focus on us now, like don't throw that chance away.
Now you're getting momentum, Jeff, isn't it? You want to build
Yeah,
on that momentum. I mean, funny, I remember a couple of years back, there was going to be protests at the Emirates, and there was a guy called Arsenal Alex. He actually went to the stadium looking for this big crowds, and he's looking around, and he's thinking, well, I can't see anyone on that. And then he panned over to the club shop, and there's like 400 odd people there, kind of thing. They're all pissed off over to there. No one else had turned up for this so-called protest, and that's the thing we don't want to be
Oh,
going down is that
yeah,
road.
we don't want to
yeah.
look. We don't want to look foolish.
Well,
We don't want to
actually, I
look
think
stupid.
you'll find though that the West Ham fan base in general is slightly more passionate about our club than the average Arsenal fan. Let's just say there are, you know,
No,
what's
absolutely,
that?
mate.
I think
It's,
whoever was in the chat, the Jeff is already 2 hours behind. Brilliant.
I
I
But
think
think I'll
no,
be
the
I
there.
think
key.
I think we're synonymous with kind of being a little bit vocal about our grievances and that with the club, and I think that there are going to be a good number of people there. I'm pretty sure of it. But I'm just saying, if there's anybody out there that's watching this at any point before the event, if you're in any way doubtful about going because you don't think anyone's going to turn up, don't be thinking like that. Be thinking that you're going to go and meet a lot of like-minded people, and you're going to have a bit of fun, couple of beers, and wave a flag or two. It'll be great. It'll be a great day out. I'd love to be there, but unfortunately, we've already got plans.
Yeah, but that's
We'll
fine.
do
Like, I mean, again, I, I, I I kind of urge people to attend and stand up and be counted.
Yeah, I think the key
But
thing is
but
if you
I
look at
don't
it
pass
like
no judgment on anyone. People want to go to the game, just go to the game, go to the pub, go and watch the game, get on the train and go home, and that's what they want to do, and they don't want to get involved, and they're neutral on it, or what. That's fine. That's up to you, right? If you want to go there and really made yourself heard, right, and express yourself on the protest, I think that's fine as well. I don't think anyone should judge anyone either way.
No, that's right.
I
Absolutely
don't
right.
like that about what goes on with it.
No,
Just do
true.
your own thing, and if you feel
It's all about that.
do it.
It's all about that.
Yeah. We're not being funny, the pair of you, when you think about it, behind me is the name, and the one word we're missing at the moment is that United word.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to be, because if
We
we
are.
took it away from the club, let's make sure that let them realise what United's all about. And I think that's the way we've got to go forward with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's show them that we're not West Ham divided.
Yeah, no, and
That's true.
that's kind of like the important bit I'm trying to say is that we could really look if we could look silly out of this, and then he'll win so easy. It'd be such an easy win for him.
Yeah.
At the first hurdle.
And whether you can go or not, and whether you're in the UK or not, if you support the movement, show it on your social media. Flood social media with it. There'll be people posting pictures of it. Repost them. Show your support that way. Let's get the word out there. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you support the movement, do it. If you don't, then fine. It's great. It's not a problem. It's not an issue. But
I like usual's answer to my manager question earlier. So he hasn't put a name unless a manager is a guy. Alex, is it?
Well, it is on FIFA 26. Yeah.
No, but he goes on to say, with a bit of gumption as a manager, someone who commands respect, is not ashamed to give the players a kick up the arse. And
go for it.
That's exactly what we need. And I see someone put in the chat earlier about Brian Clough. I think Usual's describing a bit of a Brian Clough character there, but I don't think they get away with it in the game today, do they?
Not as much now, no.
Colin says he doesn't want Nuno. He says he wants Iriola or McKenna. But he says he's hearing that there's friction in the boardroom with Kretinsky getting more involved now. And there was talk of a board meeting earlier in the week, wasn't there? And amongst all of this protest thing and all that. And it might be that we're actually getting, like I say, a bit of traction and having some impact. So this is why I think Saturday is increasingly important.
Yeah, I think you're right what you're saying, Jeff, because you think if we don't get this right, then that pulls and dwarf as one. And that'd be the sickening thing about it.
We can't be having him win. No, definitely not.
And this Words is just saying, he says he fully backs the protest, but like all protests, they come and go and nothing changes. And this is the fear
that's my fear.
This could just peter out, just so easy. We're a big protest, got a bit of media attention. And I tell you what, if we don't keep the focus on, and it does peter out, getting them to look at us again, it's going to be doubly hard.
Yeah.
So,
and you've also got to think that this protest and this, this demonstration, the proposed boycott that's due in the future, all of this could also have a negative or a positive effect on any potential investment, takeover, movement in the club. Now, it has to be done the right way.
If you're a potential investor, if you're looking at these protests and the board being ousted and things getting uncomfortable, you're probably looking at that as a real opportunity to get what you're after.
Absolutely, I'd say that. Yeah.
Colin says, I feel boycotts will get more traction than protests because if you do it on live TV and you get the media coverage, well, the boycotts is supposed to be the next step after the protest, isn't it? So I think what we'll do is we'll probably talk about boycotts next week and what the implications of those are. And of course,
Yeah.
we'll have seen what the protest is like on Saturday as well. So I'm sure we'll have that to discuss as well.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that I did want to say though is that there are some people that don't agree with the protests, the boycotts, and stuff like that. And that maybe somebody in the chat, maybe somebody just watching, maybe somebody watching after it's gone live. But we're not saying that if you don't agree that you should do anything. What we're saying is that everybody is an individual, and if you feel like you should have a say, then have a say, positively or negatively, have a say. You know, I just wanted to say that because some
No, you're
people
right.
might be,
I do
you know,
think that some channels that you watch, not just West Ham channels, but just some channels
mhm,
when they're talking about things, and I realise everyone gets really passionate about what they're talking about, but sometimes I do feel it all gets a little bit judgmental and a little bit everything's binary these days. No one
Hmm.
can have a
yeah,
debate or a conversation or agree to
yeah,
disagree. It's got you're either
yeah,
for or against, or if you're not on my side, then you're not
yeah,
welcome here type reactions. And
yeah,
I just
yeah,
think, I don't know that it's all that healthy all the time. It's okay, like to
yeah.
you might support getting the manager out for a different reason
I'll be back in 1 second.
to the next
All
Yeah,
right.
go
guy
on. I
or the
can speak then.
board, but it's a common goal.
All right,
But
Budge.
you can't be all right, Budgie. You can't be judgmental with each other, and if you don't do it this way, then that's it. And it all gets a bit like that, and I don't like it. So I just think people should be free to, like I say, am I guilty of that? Evening Aces saying I urge people to go, and I think we should need a good turnout. Maybe I am, but I've explained why I think it's important, and now
And
it's up to people to do
I think
what they
that's all
will
you
with
can do,
that.
Jeff. I think that's all you can do because at the end of the day, as you said, people make their own mind up, but hopefully everyone sees the bigger picture of what we're trying to achieve with this. And I think that's the key thing. As long as there's a long term goal and we can actually make some impact, even if it's like 0.1% of it, it can grow from that point onwards. And that's the key thing. So, like you said, I think this one on Saturday has so much importance behind it. If we don't get this right, it's very hard to kind of come back in with something else and hoping that everyone's going to go, well, we didn't do well on that one, so why would I kind of want to join back into something where we've already lost ground on that previous.
Mm,
So yeah,
yeah,
it's I think it's could
And everyone that's come together as well over it, Tony. That have
absolutely, and
sort of
that's I think a good
yeah.
thing about
all
it,
pulling
Jeff.
in the same direction, and then
Mm,
if that gets
To be
fractured out,
perfectly honest, it's about preventing the implosion of our club. That's what it's about, and that's what everybody on the terraces, in the seats, on in at home. That's what we all see. This is what we want. We want to prevent the implosion of our club. And there are people that have actually taken action, and there are going to be many people that support that action.
mm. This is a good
That
quote from one
that's
of the
how.
pictures.
Yeah,
yeah,
we all
we
have
all
more
have
in common as West
yeah,
Ham fans than
then
we
we
do
do different.
differences.
Yeah,
Yeah, and there's room for all of us in the West Ham family.
yeah,
Absolutely right, WP. Brilliant,
yeah. No,
brilliant.
it's right, and it's kind of like the the style of football debate, isn't it? Is style more important? Is results more important? Why can't we have style and results, or and all of that? But and people disagree. Do we? I personally think that the way we're going, we need a Nuno, Mourinho, Dyche type manager to galvanise the players that we've got. And it's not what I want to see, and I fear that, like I said, a Dyche would come in for a year, do well, and then get a 3-year contract, and then that's what we're subject to. And that's not the way forward and what I want for the future of our football club. There's people were saying in the chat, people alluded to McKenna or someone in that style that's a young, forward-thinking manager. Budgie mentioned kind of Carrick, all of those kind of things. I don't know whether they'd be successful or not, but I really would like the idea of there's a direction of the football club.
Yeah.
Not just, again, as we said in the chat, just jerking from one to the next, a perpetual cycle of firemen, right? And then we'll go in this direction and we'll pretend we're having a go at something different without really doing it, and then just go back to the same old, same old.
True.
I mean, we'd be like Sheffield United soon. What a fucking joke they are.
Well, I was just about to say,
in, out, fucking okey cokey.
I was going to say to you, Jeff, your favourite man's been snapped up by Sheffield United again, Chris Wilder. You've missed out on the dream man to come to West Ham fortunes.
I think so.
And he turned around and said, I heard him today on the interview and that, and he's talking about, my players, they understand what's going. If they understood you, mate, you wouldn't have got fired in the first place, So you went for a second time. They still don't understand you. So you never know. 3 times a charm. I don't know. Maybe it could be the case. Brendan's comments on this. Yeah, I mean, I love this.
read that out because it's scrolled up now. And
so obviously, usually getting quite excited because it sounds like the Dortmund Juventus game is a humdinger of a game. Obviously, Toxa said, "Be careful with your ticker." And he's then added on there, Harry the Grim Reaper is ready to pick those slippers from your feet. But Leslie's obviously coming as well. There's another Harry's got a bit of competition. Look at that. He's put it. Happy Hamrick can share my bed, but I'm going to draw a line in the sand with Budgie.
I'm surprised when we were talking about no strikers on the bench and all that no one came up with the Antonio comment, but you seem to have dodged that one tonight, Budgie.
Thanks for mentioning it, mate.
And Leslie says, fuck off, I want the slippers.
But I don't know if you saw the comment earlier. Marshall banged a couple of goals as well.
Yeah. They won 5-1, I think Usual said. They won 5-1. Fearon got a couple, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
So good result for the lads and a bit of happy news for West Ham. Now, we've kind of briefly spoke about the game and we've sort of chatted about Potter and one thing and another and gone onto the board and the demonstrations. Perhaps we should talk about what our expectations are for this weekend against Crystal Palace. So what are your guys' thoughts on what you expect to see? Do you expect to see change of team formation? Obviously Souček's not going to be available from Potter, and do you looking forward to the game with any expectations, or are you dreading 3 o'clock or 3:30, whatever it is, when we're a couple of goals down?
They are a bloody bogey side, aren't they, Palace? That's the thing about it. All right, they've lost a couple of players. So, there's...
All players, too.
Yeah, exactly. But Glasner as well seems to have one up over on Potter when it comes to these games. He knows how to counteract him. Does he change the team?
I think he's a very good manager in general.
Glasner, I don't think he'll be at Palace for long. Again, if it's Iriola or Glasner.
Barcelona, or
Man United. Man United. He'll come up there. Because Amrin ain't going to be there lost. I don't think he's going to be there long.
Even Coco the Clown don't want to go Man United.
Well, I don't know. That new tent they're going to build with $2 billion, he might want to go for that. The problem is what does Potter go with? I mean, he's sticking with Hermansen, which he needs to put a pair of stilts on his feet so he can actually reach the ball. The defence currently is shocking. I mean, only Mavropanos put a little bit of effort in. The midfield area, well, bloody hell. I
It's
think the three of
weird
us.
to say that
Let's
Mavropanos
lace
has
our
been
boots
the
and get
best
back out on the
performer.
pitch. I think the three of us could probably go do a better job than our midfield at the moment. And that's saying we combine our ages together. That just shows you that we can put more.
The worrying thing, I was in the pub on Saturday before the game.
There ain't enough.
I got up the Twitter feed, and I swear to fucking God, Rodriguez was in the starting 11 originally.
You're joking.
And I don't know if it was an error that was corrected.
Probably.
I was like Rodriguez, Suchek, and JWP.
Jesus Christ, man. See, that just shows you, Jeff, he hasn't got a clue, is he? I mean, like, Ian R's put it in there, and their strike, I mean, Mateta,
Mateta is going to fucking tear us a new one.
Jesus Christ, man. They've got to pump the ball in there. You don't even have to jump.
Let's hope he trips over a dandelion and twists his left ankle or something, Because, no, seriously, because he's the one player at Palace right this moment that does worry me. Eze was a big worry. Not so much now. He's already done his part, But he's gone. He's with Arsenal now, isn't he? And obviously there are other players, but Mateta is the one that stayed. He's been loyal to the club.
Yeah.
He's been kind of sugar-coated a little bit by Palace, if you want to put it that way. But worthy of that sugar-coating. The boy can score a goal.
He's going to fucking tear. Who's going to contain him?
Exactly.
I think the only one that's got half a chance against him will be Diouf. Or Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Well, how often is Diouf going to encounter Mateta then?
Not often.
Or when, it's basically
only if they're playing in a four.
He's going to run our centre backs a merry fucking dance, right? If he gets behind Kilman, he'll never fucking catch him. Mavropanos won't be able to keep hold of him.
No. This is where a Guerd would have been useful.
I don't think so, but if you think he is, maybe, whatever. Everyone knows my views on the It did affect the Premier League, and I think he was fully.
You piss on my cornflakes anytime you want, mate.
That's just my views. That's my view on the player. It doesn't make me right. It's just what I think, right?
Well, I'm just glad he's gone, Jeff, myself. Yeah, because if he ain't going to play for the clout and blue in there, then and he put half his efforts in.
I'm not even influenced by that bit at the end. That's all ended a bit bitter and all that. I mean, I thought before. He didn't want to play for the club, but he fucked off for his country.
Yeah.
Went off to Spain, looked good out there. Yeah, of course he did in that league because he had to work every week, like really work every week in the Premier League. He didn't like it. He didn't want to do it.
Lazy
player. Me, that's too much. Yeah, lazy. Too much like hard work. That is. That's why all the links to Sunderland, I was pissing my fucking pants. I'm like, he's not playing in the Premier League. He can't fucking hack it. Ian says,
early loss. Easy
loss, I'm afraid, guys.
Yeah.
Palace have a manager that will have GP's number, and their striker is a monster. We were just talking about him, and just talking about you're obviously an admirer of Glasner and think he's good tactically. I tend to agree.
Absolutely.
And just look at us in our opening fixtures, right? The last two home games, I actually think we've opened the game decently, looked good for 20, 25 minutes. You think, we're a game on here, right? Well, we never adjust, and the game always ends up getting away from us. Now, we might start brightly against Palace and think, here we are, game on, right? But Potter's proven that he sees things too late. He misses all the tweaks that are made. and everyone gets the better of him, and Glasner surely will. Glasner is too astute not to say, right, we just thought of this, we just tweak that and expose the weaknesses. So I agree with Ian. I expect us to lose by at least 2 goals, but I would not be surprised if it was 3 or more again this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't see a win coming in with this one, I must admit.
Difficult to argue with that, isn't it?
Yeah, but because there's a lot of relevance and facts to it, Buzz. I mean, at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
You know, with Palace, they are very. What's the best way to say it? They're aerial band. They're quite good in aerial challenges. They win a lot of balls
They've
in
won
the
the FA Cup, the Community Shield. They've started the season well.
And they've beaten.
They're a good
and
team.
who did they beat in those 2 games?
Well, yeah,
Liverpool being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And who was the other?
Good. They're just a good team, right?
Yes,
they're a good team, and Mateta is a beast, and their manager is tactically astute. They are everything that we are not.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing they are that we're not is cleverly financed, cleverly handled by the board. Even that guy that used to own them, what's his name? Simon Jordan? Yeah, Simon Jordan.
I don't know how wise not cashing in on
Gay. Even he's not too critical of them, the way they're run.
He can't fucking stand fucking Parish, can he?
I know.
No, he can't. But even he's not critical of the way the club is being run. He don't like him, but he ain't critical of the way he's running the club.
Yeah,
or not as critical as he could be.
Look, we see JWP and Guido in central midfield. I think we sort of touched on this and my fears of that. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. No, I don't know. I think Magassa's probably going to play, right?
One would hope so.
But I think JWP is going to play. And talking about it earlier, 2 keepers on the bench. Youngsters don't get a chance. Potts looks like he's got no chance. Marshall, what does Marshall think now after this week?
Well, I like to think Marshall's got a bit more. He's got broader shoulders than that, and also he's just going to bide his time. That's what you're out for.
But what's he thinking though? He must be thinking, I've got no fucking chance.
Of course, I mean, and you got to think. Unfortunately, this day and age, how many, not just with West Ham, but how many kind of players do you think slip through the net where managers don't give them a chance?
Oh,
and these are players that can move on.
Yeah,
I saw this one from Talks. Yeah,
yeah. Kicking off in Madrid, V. Marseille, headbutt on the keeper, whose reaction deserves an Oscar. Shoot Llorente. Oh, that sounds magnificent.
Oh.
You got to love all the play acting that goes with it.
Yeah. Got to love a game with a bit of oomph and gore about it as well.
Leslie says here, back 4 with JWP and Souček to protect them, cost us the game. And it sort of did, but that's the same team that won the game at Forest, right?
Absolutely.
The introduction of Somerville was in the starting 11, right? We were missing Fulcrook. I don't agree with pushing Paqueta up, and I would have rather seen Marshall play there and get schooled by Van Ven or whoever at the back there and learn from it than waste Paqueta up there. Jiff and Somerville really combined quite nicely down that left-hand side. We looked like we might be able to achieve something, and just.
I mean, not
I'm
being
drifting
funny.
off backwards again, but I'm
Yeah, I
just
know, but
like mad.
it does, mate. It does do that. I think for me, I mean, not being, we know he's not fully fit, but considering he came on and he looked okay when he played against the Forest game and that, he may not last you 60 minutes, but put Callum Wilson on as well. At least he would have done something.
I think he should have just started him.
You know, simple as that. He should have started him at least, and then you can make changes afterwards. And
Isn't it
then
weird how we're having the same conversations we had last year, only the names have been changed, like from
basically, yeah,
Antonio to Callum Wilson.
Mm. You know,
You know,
he would have
I
done
mean,
something at least. He would have done something.
he
I
would have
believe.
done, and like Antonio would have done back then, he will try his best to make something happen. And if that forces a mistake out of the other team, fantastic. You know, but he will try his best. Yeah, he runs and stuff. He's not a player you can take lightly.
No.
And you know, their defence would have had to have reshaped if we'd have brought Callum Wilson on from the start.
I think the problem is, Jeff.
Just gone one up.
Yeah,
go on, Tony. Sorry, mate.
I think the problem was I wasn't. It didn't kind of pull the wool over my eyes, but I think a lot of people got excited because obviously the result we got against Forest. You know, and it's a case of you've got to think they had problems. Nuno and the chairman for one, so there was a lot of disharmony there, and for us to get 3 goals past them, that great result, brilliant, no problems at all. It's the
really
next
good
game
away
and the
performance,
next game,
right?
Yeah, but it's the consistency you're looking for. You know,
I
it's the next
agree.
game and the game after that. And I knew
But I don't want to
we go
diminish
backwards.
the Forest result, right? I think it was a really good. I don't think Forest were great on the day, but I think it was a really good away performance. And what we did, and here's the difference, right? We kept Forest in front of us. We made them play in front of us. We didn't let them get all them crosses into the box and one thing or another. What they did get into the box, we defended quite well. And then we broke it. It never looked a 3-0 game until we scored 1-0. And then we did what other teams do. We just bang, bang, bang. 10 minutes, we scored 3 goals. And everyone thought it looked a great 90 minutes. I think overall it was a really good 90-minute away performance. But it was defined by the last 15 minutes, what's fresh in everyone's mind, how electric that was. Really the introduction of Summerfield, what an impact he made.
Yeah.
The team, the core of that team, was only really missing Fulcrook against Spurs. But we just showed our soft underbelly.
Yeah,
we gave away a lot.
Without anyone that he trusts.
I do think that we gave away a lot of corners, but I think partly that was down to Jeff's good defending. To stopping that ball coming in all of the time, the crosses.
In fact, Carl Walker-Peters didn't have a bad game either.
I thought Walker-Peters and Bowen down the right flank and Jeff and Somerville down the left flank showed real promise at times. I think Paqueta was absolute waste in the role that he was in. We needed a number 9.
He should have been given that free running 10 role.
He should have played behind that and so on and so forth. But that's not how he set the team up. And Jeff had a good game. Walker-Peters had a good game. Mavropanos, I think, actually had a good game.
He did, yeah.
I think everyone fell asleep a little bit when Souček got sent off for the second goal. Him and Hermansen are sort of the standout last line of defence, point the fingers at them. But actually, I think the whole fucking team was sleeping. Complete amateurs in that moment, the lot of them. And this is the problem. Where's the leadership? Where's the grit? Where's the nous to defend, to change what you're doing at the first corner? These are professionals, right? And none of this, not like we got a team full of fucking youngsters, right? That we can go, they'll learn. They're wet behind the ears. They're not.
They come to the pot. They came down to Potter. Potter should have.
Yes, I
once
agree.
That
This
first goal
does
that
come
was
down to
scored,
Potter.
even though it was chalked off, the alarm bell should have been ringing there because it is a fact of aerially they're better than us straight away. We need to adjust on that, or we need to make some kind of change. Didn't even consider it.
Yeah, I was just on your point, Jeff. If you listen to the interview that James Ward-Prowse did, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago,
Very
according to
funny,
him,
Past the Vaseline.
according to James Ward-Prowse, there's leaders all over the pitch. If you listen to him, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, not James Ward-Prowse, Kilman, and it was only a week or so ago. It was Kilman, not James Ward-Prowse.
Okay,
He
well,
said,
what's his definition of a fucking leader? Is he saying he's a leader? Because I don't see the leadership out of him. So I don't know what's his
there's
definition
only
of
two.
leadership.
There's only two players that get on that pitch with any regularity that show true leadership, in my opinion. Right, one is Thomas Souček, and two is Jared Bowen. Now, and he's only really been doing it since he got the armband. But Thomas Souček's the only other true leader on that pitch.
I agree. I think Thomas Souček is the only true leader on the pitch. And I think he's in the only position, the only leader in a position that should be captain. And I'm not saying he should be captain because I don't think he should be playing every week. But just if we're talking about captaincy, for me as an individual, he shows his leadership on the pitch. I think he's well respected. He's professional. He absolutely adores the club, and he plays.
He's got time in the club.
Plays in the right position for a captain. For me, in my opinion.
Absolutely. For me, he carries as much weight as Declan Rice ever did.
But the argument would be that he shouldn't be playing every week, and he probably shouldn't, right? Whereas Bowen should be playing every week. And I think Bowen leads and shows his captaincy in a different way. I just never really liked Bowen as captain because I don't think it's the right position for a captain.
Yeah.
I actually think the type of captain we need on the pitch, I don't think Bowen actually delivers that what we need in this moment, because I think we need people who are going to grab people up.
And I think that might be half
scruff of their lapels
problem.
and all that. And I don't think that's really Bowen's personality and the way he approaches it. But
I think that might be half of the problem with the results that we're getting as well, Jeff. Because he's not behind the play.
There's no fucking backbone in that team. There's no grit. There's no fight. Heads go down. This guy, I've put it up here. My eyes have gone blurry now, getting mad.
Do you want me to read that out?
Yeah, we have a tendency to look okay early in the games. Problem is, genuinely think he sets up not to be losing at half time. Don't think he intends to go out and grab the game, will go one down and can't change. And I just think heads. Also, this is where we don't show the fight. We go a goal down. We're not coming back in games. We're just conceding more goals. And this season has been dreadful for it.
Yeah.
And I know you said about Potter. One thing I said about Potter when he came in, my fear was that his team struggled to score goals. Well, here we are. We definitely struggling to score goals here. But it's not just struggling to score goals. Now we can't fucking keep them out. We're nowhere near keeping goals out. We are getting battered every week. This is scary.
Yeah, absolutely right. And some of our main goal threats have now left the club.
Yeah, this is true. Jeff, unfortunately, I was going to bounce out on that. But going back on that last comment you said, you got to think Spurs 6 years before since they beat us at home. You know, the fact that we can't score goals, you've got a manager with a worse average than Avram Grant, and that took some doing. But Potter's got a silver service on that now. He's actually overtaken this man tenfold. And who thought that could ever happen since Avram Grant?
I know.
Yeah.
He's awful.
But yeah, but unfortunately, I've got to shoot off that. And thanks for having me on the show.
Oh,
Matt.
no, you're welcome anytime, Tony. Thanks for coming in and joining us.
Tony,
And,
lovely to see you, mate. See you
And as well,
Thursday.
Butch. Yep, definitely, mate. Definitely.
just before you go, give us a prediction for Saturday, please.
I'm the same as you, mate. I can see Palace with a comfortable 2-0.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll let you go, buddy, and we'll catch up soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to work
Yeah,
my way
bud.
through down the comments and just finish up with Budgie as well, because we've been
No
approaching
worries.
2 hours now. It's crazy. Don't know how that's happened. Talking nonsense
Thanks,
as well.
Brendan, as always.
You'll have your missus coming at you with a wooden spoon, mate.
Right, take care, all. See you later. Bye.
See you later, Tony.
Right,
Cheers.
see you later, Tony. Take care, mate.
And you. Ta-da.
So the guys are just doing all the European scores.
Yeah.
And it does look like some cracking games that I've missed doing this evening.
Yeah.
But I tend not to watch too much Euro.
That's about right,
It
Brendan.
is. Dog says leavers, not leaders. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worrying. And I just think they definitely need galvanising. We need someone. I just don't see Potter as the character to do it. I think we're in trouble if he stays. I can't see.
How about Paolo?
Turning it round.
Paolo Di Canio. Get him in with Nobles and number 2. We'd probably lose the first 10 games, but it would be great fun to watch.
Yeah, he's another. I mean, he loves the club, right? But I'm not sure about. I'm not.
I actually don't think he would be interested in doing it. I've got to be honest.
Well, look
He's
at
been
this.
out of the game for a little while.
Juve 3-4. What a game! What a game indeed.
Wow.
And have you got a prediction for?
Yeah, I have
Anybody?
pain. Lots of pain.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. I think Palace are going to just absolutely spank us.
I just think they're too good all round.
I do, and like you said, okay, they've lost players since they've won those 2 titles, but having said that, they have strengthened a little, and we've already mentioned their manager Glasner.
And you've got
The
to
guys,
how shit we are as well.
yeah, but that Glasner is technically he's been showing to be a very, very good manager, and he's adaptable, and I just think he's got far too much about him and for Potter to handle, and unless our players actually go on a mutiny and say, right, we're doing it this way, I don't think we stand a chance.
Doug says he hopes we get a point on Saturday, but doesn't sound a convincing.
I'm going for maybe a 3-0 loss again.
This could be helpful for us. Budgie, look, Millwall have equalised in the 91st minute, and Juve have made it 4-4 in the 96th minute. Wow! And Palace.
It sounds like Juve and Millwall are playing each other.
Palace go to extra time though, won't they? And then penalties. So
yeah,
it's another half hour in their legs.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. Fair play to Millwall, by the way. Even though I hate to say it, fair play to them.
And this is an interesting comment here. He says, I thought Beckham was a great captain, led by example, heart and enthusiasm, wouldn't grab players by the scruff of the neck, didn't need to look who he had around him. Bowen similar, but we need another type.
Yeah, and I really actually can, now that you've mentioned it there, Ian, I can actually see what you're getting at, the connection that you're making between the 2 of them. And you're right, that's not the kind of captain that West Ham thrives under.
Yeah, I agree.
Mark Noble would grab them by the scruff of the neck and wheel them out. kind of captain, and even back as far as the likes of your Billy Bonds, and even what was his name? Uh,
Carry on, mate. Sorry,
no,
didn't mean to.
even the likes of Lucas Neal. I mean, not many players got away with a lot when he was captain. You know, these are the kind of characters that you need. Your Thomas Ocek,
I
he's the
think we
kind of
need a
captain
real
you need.
strong leader type.
If Thomas Ocek was 3 or 4 years younger,
I'm not sure
he
we've got
would be
too
a
many at the
shoo-in.
football club. That's why we're talking
No,
about Suchek,
we
and
haven't.
we can't come up with a better candidate between us because I don't think there is one. Not in the mould that we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Alvarez might have been a
Might
candidate
have
if we
been.
were looking for him, but
Yeah.
I don't know if
Even
he should be
even
captain or not.
Sofal
But
would have been a
yeah,
candidate
so far would
because of the
definitely have
heart
been.
the man has.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. And in fairness, I think even um, Emerson would have been a reasonable
Yeah,
captain
you've
because,
you've got
but
a
I
man
mean,
crush on Emerson. He's not captain for
I
me.
have, but I think he was quite a passion. He is quite a passionate player, and that's sort of half the requirements of being a captain, being passionate, in
Anyway,
my opinion.
Budgie, I've got down to the bottom of the comments. We've been on for a couple of hours,
You do better than I do,
kind of
then, mate.
waffling on about Emerson as captain now. That's how distracted
Yeah,
we
that's how bad it's got.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is just say thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us.
Yeah, thanks to
Lovely to see
everyone.
you all as usual. And sorry I didn't engage in the chat and your comments quite as much as I would like to usually, but I had a few problems with the mouse this evening, so it's been a bit difficult to show your comments. And Budgie, you've got anything coming up this week?
Well, obviously, Wednesday night we've got the Old School Hammers on West Ham Network at 10 o'clock UK. Um, and on Thursday, 8 o'clock with Tony on the Hammers Football TV, we've got the West Ham review, which will be, yeah, that will be interesting because we'll have a few of, oh gosh, he's gone again. Look, he's kicked himself out. It'll be interesting because we'll have a few people in the chat from other clubs as well because they tend to get in Hammers Football TV quite a lot, and so yeah, that'll be quite interesting. I'm not sure who this week's it's downstairs. I'm not sure who this week's GSC is, but welcome back to the bowling lounge.
Oh, it's me. Can't you? It's going all over the place. It's having a right problem. I'm going to have to
You're,
give up
you're
showing
really
the
good
last
at
few
this, aren't you,
comments.
Jeff?
I don't know what's going on with this
You're
point.
you're
I'm going
good
to
at,
have to run a little scan or something on here, I think.
yeah. I've got to go and get myself a new bloody mouse because my dog's destroyed the one I've got, and I've got an exposed little button I have to press, and yeah, so that's two that my dog's destroyed in about a month. Little bastard. Yeah.
Anyway, hopefully
But
I'll be able to
yes.
click the end stream button, Budgie.
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? You need to get yourself a touch screen just in case. Yeah.
So, Budgie, did you
Right.
get out your schedule? Did you say everything you needed to, buddy?
I think I did, mate. Yeah. I am doing a couple of interviews this week, though. So, Green Street Elites will have some new content in the next 10 days.
Excellent.
So, yeah. But, yeah, I've got a couple of interviews. In fact, three if I can tie you down to an hour as well.
I'm busy this week. If you want me this week, I've got a lot on.
All right, mate. No problem. No problem. We'll do it another day, another
I'll
time.
catch up
It's
with
all
you
good.
after. I'll see you on the other side, Budgie, and I'm going to say good night
All right,
to all
mate.
you guys. Thanks for your
Everybody in the
support.
chat, thanks for turning up.
Yeah, and we'll see you next week. Come on, you odds.
Come on, you.